Well, now that the show has set up its main plot and cast of characters, it's time to get to the filler section of the season, which I'm actually looking forward to. Sure, I've definitely seen some terrible filler episodes in my time, but when they're done right, they can provide us with strong character development, which, since we now have a new group of Rangers, is very important. Who knows, these episodes could actually change my mind on Brody, and could even make the other characters feel more comfortable in their roles. So let's see how this show utilizes its filler as we take a look at Episode 3, Live and Learn. The episode opens with Galvanex charging a monster called Spinferno the task of destroying the Power Rangers because of his speed, while at shop class Mick is hard at work making new throwing stars out of the Ninja Steel. When he chucks the finished star into the prism, however, both he and Brody are in awe of the prism's power, even though they've already seen it do this before in the last episode. These are new element stars that give the Rangers the power of the elements when fighting monsters, though they do have a hard time controlling them during a training exercise. Later, the team gets ready for school, mentioning a quiz they need to study for, with Preston giving Brody an old backpack of his that has a hole in it before heading out with the others. Brody, for some reason, chooses to stay behind for a bit when he's warned about Spinferno's upcoming attack at the plaza. Rather than call the others, as Redbot suggests, Brody decides to take on the monster alone, saying that the others need to study and that he and his datacom can handle this. During the fight, Brody starts to over-rely on the datacom, asking it how to defeat Spinferno, which he accomplishes by spraying the thing away with his element star. However, someone had apparently been filming the fight, and when we cut back to the school, it's already gone viral with millions of views. This rubs Victor Vincent the wrong way, since he also apparently makes videos that aren't that popular, leading to him and Monty vowing to become more popular than the Power Rangers. When Brody arrives on the scene, the others angrily ask why he didn't call them, to which Brody says that he and his datacom took care of things before class starts, and after Brody introduces himself, the teacher moves on with the quiz. Brody again relies on his datacom to give him the answer to every question, and even though Sarah says he can't use it during the quiz, she doesn't tell him why, or that he could get in trouble for doing so. This leads to Victor calling out Brody for cheating after he sees him use the datacom, and while Brody does get in trouble with the teacher, she only tells him to put it away rather than take it from him or give him detention. After class, the datacom falls out of the hole in Brody's backpack when it's picked up by Victor, who asks it how he can become more popular than the Power Rangers. The datacom says that Victor needs to defeat a monster in battle, before we cut to Haley telling Brody that he won't be able to figure things out for himself if the datacom just gives him the answer. Brody says that if you have a tool you should use it, before Preston comes in telling the group that Spinferno is attacking the city again, so Brody smugly says that now he can show the others how useful his datacom really is. However, Brody instantly goes into panic mode when he realizes the datacom's missing, and even though the others remind Brody that he's fought without his datacom before, he runs off to find it, not even telling the team how he stopped the monster previously. Luckily though, someone was already keeping the monster busy.
Watch the master at work! Now, Monty!
Just keep going!
What the? Take this! Huh?
God, give me a break!
Monty, what do I do?
Well, this looks familiar.
With iron chests and arms of steel, we've got real superhero appeal. We'll protect this city with all our might. Bumpster and Super Scum will set things right. Come on, let's go show up those Power Rangers.
Predictably, Victor and Monty are no match for Spinferno, who, after destroying the datacom, sends the comic relief flying through the air in a cyclone. The other Rangers then show up to combat Spinferno, but they don't fare too well as the monster's too quick for them. Meanwhile, Brody's busy scouring the classroom for his datacom before Mick makes his presence known, asking Brody if he really needs it.
Are you sure you really need it?
Of course! The datacom knows how to beat every monster.
Computer?
Ready?
Yes, I'm still connected to the ship's computer. How can I beat this monster?
You cannot beat Kurdvaka alone.
You're right, Brody, that thing was a big help against the Fear Cats. Mick manages to convince Brody that rather than rely on the datacom, he just needs to believe in himself and his team, reminding the Red Ranger that he left his team high and dry when they needed him the most. Brody does show up in the nick of time to help out the other Rangers, though, and after giving a very cheesy speech about believing in yourself, Brody morphs into action. Now together, the team does their roll call before engaging in battle with some Kudabots, and even though the Rangers defeat the Foot Soldiers, Spinferno manages to escape. The Rangers then make a plan to have Calvin lead Spinferno into a trap by challenging him to a race, and once the Rangers catch him in vines, they destroy the fire-themed monster by setting him on fire. Surprisingly, the arena crowd refuses to give Spinferno a second chance as a giant, opting instead to send out a Skull Gator, forcing the Rangers to call their Zords. The Rangers fare pretty good in the fight, but after making the monster angry, Brody combines the team Zords together using a Megazord star that he just kinda has, with no explanation as to where or when he got it. But anyway, it's Megazord time, and while I think this Megazord is a bit too bulky, and I'm not sure how to feel about the Robo Red Zord sitting there controlling the thing, it's still pretty cool. The Rangers activate Ninja Master Mode to control the Megazord, and while it doesn't make their suits more white, it does give them some armor as well as a chainsaw-like weapon, which the team uses to finish off the monsters, saying that terrible, terrible sign-off. After the fight, Galvanax admits that the Megazord's awesome, even though he's mad about losing, before we come back to the school where Brody apologizes to the others for not relying on his team, as he gives them their own communicators, which Mick made from Brody's destroyed datacom. Victor and Monty then walk in, seeing the embarrassing fight that Victor had against Inferno that Monty edited together, and the episode ends with Victor unexpectedly happy that the video has gone viral now that he has more views than the Power Rangers. This episode is pretty bad and isn't the kind of way to start off the character-focused episodes for the season. The biggest problem this episode has is one that I've seen many a filler episode fall into, which is that it seems confused about what its central theme is supposed to be. Near as I can figure, there are 3 different themes of cheating, believing in yourself, and teamwork that the episode touches on, but none of them really work, either because of a lack of focus or because they contradict what we've seen in previous episodes. The theme of cheating doesn't work because it's only brought up in a couple of scenes, and I feel like if the episode really wanted that to be the major theme, they would have played up the fact that Brody doesn't understand Earth customs, similar to how Andros unwittingly helped a group of delinquents nearly steal a car that one time. Come to think of it, why doesn't Brody understand the concept of cheating anyway? I mean, the guy was trained to be a ninja by his father, and even ignoring that, he looks old enough in the first episode to at least be going to school, so what, did Dane homeschool both of his kids and only train Brody with the skills of a ninja without any of the wisdom? Because that's just bad parenting. The theme of teamwork is handled a little bit better, but my biggest problem with it is that if the season was going to have this episode talk about the importance of teamwork, then why have Brody give that totally random speech at the end of the last episode where he talks about appreciating his team? It makes this episode come off like Brody was all about teamwork until he remembered he had a datacom. And it's that overuse of the datacom that ultimately hinders the theme of believing in yourself. Throughout most of the episode, Brody acts like the datacom has always been there to help, even though he barely used it in the last episode, and when he tried to use it in the fight against the Fear Cat, it was pretty much useless. On top of that, the Believe in Yourself message felt very after school special to me, to the point where I shared Spinferno's reaction to Brody's speech.
I don't need my datacom. What it takes to be a ranger isn't in a computer. It's right here.
And here.
And here. Oh, yuck!
Also, this is not really the episode to change my mind on Brody. The fact that none of these themes work in the episode's favor really negatively impacts the character by not only making Brody look like he's okay with cheating, but also having him abandoning the other Rangers to find his datacom without giving them a clue as to how he took down Spinferno the first time. To be honest, through this entire episode, I was more interested in watching Victor and Monty's antics because it was the most consistent thing on screen. Overall, I don't recommend this episode. Sure, the Megazord fight was pretty cool, and Victor and Monty are fun to watch, but the episode struggles to find a thematic base, working with 3 ideas that conceptually don't work given what we've seen of this show, and if this is a sign of things to come, I'm really dreading the next episode. I'm Nick, aka IronBat1993, and may the power protect you. Please subscribe for reviews of Ninja Steel, episode reviews. Also check out Dino Charge reviews too, episode reviews. Also there's Ninjago, which has reviews too. Go! Please subscribe.